Hi, everybody. Tom Leahy with OptimumEd. Hope everybody's well today. How are you, Candace?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Gosh, yeah, I was, I so appreciate my family and my grandkids. We had them at the zoo last weekend.
Awesome.
Yeah. And they love going there and seeing all the animals. I think the one thing they didn't have, though, is what we're going to talk about today.
Did they have an elephant, Tom?
No.
So, yeah, thanks, Tom. Today we're going to talk about the elephant in the room, right? I know if you listen to us on a regular basis, you might be thinking to yourself, okay, that's all well and good, but there is no way I can afford to hire you to help me with my college plan, right?
Right.
So, I think so many people assume that spending money on a strategic planning of the college process isn't necessary. And we'd like to talk a little bit today about why we think it is necessary.
Yeah, and in order to do that, we kind of have to understand what's needed
Mhm.
um, to do this whole higher education planning and implementation thing correctly, right?
Right. I mean, we've talked about all of the different pieces in various times that we've been on these videos. We talked about pieces, but putting it all together, it's so much more than when I went to college and when most of you went to college. When I went to school, basically, I applied to one school. I filled out my paper application, probably wrote out my essay. I don't even remember my essay, and sent off an application. I got in, and that was it.
Right.
So, but today, it's so much more difficult to package it appropriately. You want your child to stand out amongst the crowd because it's getting harder and harder to get in
Yeah.
and
And
much
from
more expensive.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and part of that expense is driven by extra time spent earning a degree because we change majors once we're in college because we haven't really thought about that
Mhm.
academic path ahead of time.
Mhm. And the only argument that I always hear is, oh, they can figure it out when they get there. How are they going to know when they're 17 what they're going to do for the rest of their life? And I argue that no, they don't have to know what they're going to do forever. But starting that exploration early will reduce the time they spend in college on classes they don't need,
Right.
right? If it and we love to get freshmen in high school, to be honest, because then we have a conversation over several years. And yes, it changes several times, but it's that focused conversation on it that gets them to college with a clearer vision of what they want to do.
Right. They get in, they get done, and they get out.
Mm-hmm.
We've got the right academic path that makes sense to them as an individual. It makes sense in terms of that first job on the other side of
Mm-hmm.
college, both from passion and viability standpoint, and it also creates a more efficient process for the family. So we're
Yeah.
trying to affect both of those, set the student up for success, but also make sure that the family's not going to go to the poorhouse trying to earn that degree.
Exactly. So we, in addition to doing the planning for career beyond schooling, that we feel is the biggest part. But we also address things like marketing, resume, positioning yourself with your story of who you are and clear messaging and packaging of your student so that who they are and what they've done shines brightly.
Right.
Um, and I feel like we can probably, Tom, correct me if I'm wrong, we can post, we wrote it out a little bit as well into a blog post. We
Right.
can share that with this video as well to get into details. But let's go back to the elephant a little bit, Tom,
Okay.
because we said we would do it in the beginning, so let's do it. What does
Okay.
it cost to hire someone like us?
Well, all in, and again, when we talk about the cost of college education, a lot of times we see numbers that just deal with tuition and fees, but half of the cost of college is room and board if your child is going to go off to big state U or whatever. Obviously, it's not that ratio at private schools. The tuition is going to be more than that, but still, room and board is a huge part of the cost. So you have to factor that in. And today, public 4-year in-state tuition is about $26,000. So you're talking about over $100,000 for 4 years at an in-state school, and that's average. There's some that are less, there's some more, but you get the idea. It's pretty significant investment. Out of state, paying a lot more than that, and at a private nonprofit school, like your private schools, colleges, universities, it's about 55.8 a year, or that puts you well into 200,000 or more.
Yeah. So saying that, spending even one semester extra than you need to in college because you had to change majors or you weren't happy once you got there because of a variety of reasons. All of those things add up to more time spent in school. So even one semester at a public U, you're looking at $13,000-$14,000.
Right, exactly.
Right? And to hire us, all in, everything from our assessment process to the full range of college application support is less than $4,500.
And financial aid support.
Yeah, everything. Yep.
Yeah. So if you do the math, you spend $4,500 with us, and you're saving, $8,500, $9,000. That's a pretty good return on your investment in our services. If you just shave one semester off of the cost. I think the other issue here too is I think a lot of parents have this idea that this is all being handled by somebody else, like the school, it's being done at the school, so talk to, you're a school counselor.
Yeah, I was a school counselor. So I say this as a full school counselor advocate. I love what they do. I feel like they do valuable work for so many, but that is a problem. Do they wish that they could spend one-on-one time with your child to guide them through the whole process, help them explore careers one-on-one? Yeah, of course they wish they could do that. That's what every school counselor wants to do. But the American School Counselor Association, their recommended ratio is like 250 students to every counselor. And when you look at most public schools across the country, that's more like 400 plus per counselor. So even if they want to, they won't have the time to devote to one-on-one attention that we will provide.
Yeah, I saw statistic the other day that nationally, on average, the typical high school student in a public school system gets about 38 minutes of college consulting assistance over 4 years. 38 minutes, which is
they provide a lot of resources.
Yep.
They provide they do all of the transcript stuff or helping to organize that piece. And they'll do financial aid nights, but that is what they can provide to the whole group at once. But that one-on-one attention that your child would get with us, they can't provide.
Right. Yeah. So I think, from looking at it from the standpoint of a family, you have to kind of, I guess, judge your child, your student, in terms of their capabilities to move forward. Are they self-advocating? Are they hugely motivated and driven? I mean, are they taking charge of this thing and able to move it forward on their own, or do they need some hand holding and some some mentoring?
Here's the other thing that we probably don't even have time to get into, but we'll do it another time. Maintaining your relationship with your teenager as they're becoming adults, right? They don't always want to talk about it, about going off and leaving home. They don't always want to talk about that huge decision about what they're going to do. It's stressful for them. So helping to maintain your relationship with your teenager by letting us have those hard conversations, they're actually more, we find they're more likely to talk to us about it than they are to you. I found that with my own son.
Right.
He doesn't want to talk to me about it.
So probably the best solution is maybe to have a half-hour conversation with us.
Yeah.
Find out more about what we do, how we can help your family and your student. And, the best part of that is we don't charge anything for that half hour.
Yep.
We want to get to know your family, how we can help, and see if there's anything that we can do together to help your son or daughter move forward and be successful in life. And that's what drives us.
Yeah. And we're really, like I said, not as expensive as you might have thought we were.
Right. Yeah.
And that price that we say of less than $4,500, that's our top package. We have other options available as well that would fit your budget.
Yeah. So you can do it yourself, but oftentimes that means throwing it against the wall, and you may not like what sticks. So get it, have a conversation with us. How can they do that, Candace?
If you're whatever social media you're watching this on, you can message us through there. You can go to our website and fill out a contact form at www.optimumedcenter.com. Or you can call us. Our phone number's on the website as well.
Yeah, right, exactly. Hey, we look forward to hearing from you.
Yep.
You all have a great day.